Yeah. And we back. Welcome to Two Peas in the Pod.
Cass.
I'm your host, Rich.
I'm your host, DK.
And today's topic is abortion. Right or wrong?
Ooh.
So we just going to get right into it today. We actually made some adjustments. Initially we had a different topic for today. But because of the current events, because of the Justice Samuel Alito, his draft opinion was leaked, and it was an overturning of Roe v. Wade. Obviously, it's not a final opinion, but it is a draft opinion. Court documents like this has never been leaked before on this type of level. So I believe there's a current investigation into that to try to see who leaked these documents. But it's here, it's out in the public, and it's a current event, and it's something that needs to be talked about. So, DK, how do you feel about abortions? Do you feel they are right or wrong?
I'm honestly conflicted, Verbs.
Okay.
As I mentioned to you, man, and all the times we didn't talk, and we've been shooting pool, doing our thing. I'm like, man, I as a college football athlete, I firmly believed in abortions. I mean, I have an education I'm pursuing. Every athlete want to feel like they going pro. I knew damn well I wasn't going pro. But when she said she was pregnant, man, I'm trying to go to the combine. Man, anybody finna invite me to no goddamn. But that's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I had a future that this baby was going to cost me. I wanted to be sexually liberated as a man. I wanted to go have sex with no accountability. And I was told in the great country of America, I can't do that. You have to step up. I'm keeping a child. If you're gonna stay on campus, we come in there. So I dropped out. You're not following me around campus. No, I rather quit. I quit. Right. Don't even worry about that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I actually was in school pursuing a degree. I was playing sports at that time on full ride scholarship when the mother of my oldest daughter got pregnant, and I dropped out. I got a job at Popeyes. I was a janitor. I worked as long as I could, and I stayed with my mother until I can go get skills, and I became a CDL driver, and I worked construction. Later on, got to the restaurant industry because that was a little more comfortable. I got to the restaurant industry because that's a little more comfortable. I made, what the hell? Why would you keep calling me? I made, what in the hell?
Oh, man, they're going in today, They don't want this topic to be talked about.
Man,
Speaking of, I was actually thinking about opening our phone lines because this is going to be a sticky subject.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I don't mind opening the phone lines. I don't mind responding to comments. If some comments come through over there on your end, Cat, feel free to.
I mean, do y'all have uteruses?
Nah,
no?
But I'm telling you what I
Okay.
went through just by having a penis, which is what I wanted to discuss. Like,
Right.
I mean, she told me she didn't make that baby by herself, but she chose to keep that baby by herself.
Right.
Fine. I mean, I'm 12 years into it. I got 6 years left to that situation as far as what? Being a good dad to my daughter who didn't ask to be here, who I made having liberated sex. And I knew what I was doing. I had sex with her. I didn't wear a condom. I knew what was going to happen when I put it in her. All the things that were told to me when I was a 20-year-old kid who wanted to finish school and wanted to play football. And I didn't want to have a child with a woman that I just wanted to have sex with.
Right.
Now we fast forward, look like a decade later, and women are like, well, hold on, the government's going to tell us what to do with our bodies? I'm like, well, none of us get access to abortion. I mean.
Well, here's my question, though, because we know it takes two
to make a child.
Two to have a child, right? So if a man is having sex with a woman and she gets pregnant, that is them getting pregnant, right? Yes, that is that
She
woman's
said
body.
From that point forward.
Hold on 1 second, though.
Go ahead.
That is that woman's body. However, two adults lay down and have sex. That child will now have a mother and a father, correct?
I mean,
That child will have a mother and father. So I feel like, and I always felt this way, a man and a woman that have sex together should make decisions on whether that child should come into this world or whether they want to abort it together. It shouldn't be a one dominated decision, just the woman, because the baby is in your body, you get to make that full decision. Because what if you want to abort the child, but I want my child? Shit, have my child and give it to me. You could go on about your life. The same way you will have that child, and if I didn't want it, you would X me out the picture, but still take me down for child support, even though I said from the beginning I didn't want that child. And I'm just speaking hypothetically. Like if a man said he doesn't want a child and the woman wants the child, that woman can have that child and still put that man on child support for 18 years to maybe 21 years of that child's life. However, if the woman doesn't want the child and the man is having his first child, he wants his child. He want a kid. He want to be a father to his child. That woman has the ultimate decision to say, yeah, you want to be a father, but I don't want no kid. I'm getting rid of it.
And so now that they're seeing it from a different light, now the government's doing it to you. The government's telling you if you go out there and have sexually liberated sex, you now no longer have a right to go take that life of the child. Now, I'm in a disagreement with it because I'm sorry, bro. There's just too many extenuating circumstances where a woman should have the right, but you shouldn't exclusively have the right. It shouldn't only be your right when it takes two to make a child.
Correct.
And so if it is going to be an exclusive woman's right, okay, cool. That's not a big deal to me. But at the same time, there's going to be a backlash at men for what the government is doing to women. It is always like that. It's like when the elite get together and they say, well, you guys can't have abortions anymore. Now all of a sudden, people want to look at men and be all like, let's see what y'all did again. We didn't vote on that shit. Y'all didn't vote on that shit.
Right.
Why did y'all get the vote? Why every woman in America, I mean, if she had a period, should have been able to go vote on this decision, period. Why is the government sitting back like, we're going to make the bit? We as men, we're going to have to deal with this too. We're going to deal with the backlash of women. Now you can't be a trifling man no more. Your side bitch get pregnant, she got to keep it.
Well, here's the thing. So let's put some context to it.
You know
So
what I'm
it's not like overturning Roe v. Wade is gonna outlaw abortions,
That's
right?
still
Across
happen.
the,
It's
not
still
gonna
gonna
do
happen.
that. You can still have, like, even in certain states, like here in Texas. Texas, one of the first states, way before this opinion came out, Texas had already put in law that they was abandoning abortions, right? But nobody ever read the whole, law in the context of it. It's for women. They ban abortions after 6 months, so that's a month and a half. So I mean, after 6 weeks.
Okay,
Correction,
yeah.
after 6 weeks. So that's a month and a half. So they're not saying that 3 weeks along your pregnancy, you find out 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in, that you can't go get an abortion. They're talking about once you start hitting that second trimester, once there's life in your body, that's life. Like that's life in your body.
6 weeks is barely even life.
No, 6 weeks is life.
It's not viable.
No, it's life though. It's life. You know why it's life? Because that baby is that fetus is inside of you. It's eating the nutrients that you're putting into it. It's a living, breathing organism. It's forming in your body.
let me
It's
ask
not
you-
even breathing. It doesn't even have a heartbeat.
Well. Here's the thing. I'm not a scientist, so I can't go into the scientific aspect of that. But I will question the fact that once a seed is planted,
That's what I was going to say.
and the seed starts sprouting, like it's not fully a flower yet, but the roots is forming, everything. That seed is now live.
Anything growing
it's
is
live
alive.
because it's growing.
Yeah.
If it wasn't growing, then it wouldn't be live. Once that seed is developing, it has life.
That's fact.
It has life.
That's like a fungus. If you go look at your sandwich and you say, okay, well, it's just a little piece of fungus on this sandwich, a little piece of, bacteria, and you try to take that off and you still eat that sandwich, you're gonna die. Why? Because, hey, bro, that's growing. You don't know what
It's spread it throughout.
it's spread it throughout.
Yeah,
You don't know how much bacteria is on the rest of part of this bad sandwich, bad meat, or leftover, whatever you got. Anything alive is growing. Anything growing is alive. You know what I'm saying? So life represents growth. If it's dying, it's going to have a cancerous aspect to it. So, anytime, a woman starts feeling like her body's changing, like, hold on, something's
changing
it's
because life is growing inside of
you.
her.
And it's
Right.
now you're hungry. Now your feet hurt. Now you're going through all these changes. Why? Because
Hormone changes, yeah.
and that's from the day one. That's not from day 50.
Right. Women start throwing up. They can
Morning
tell by the
sickness.
way they start vomiting. Yeah, morning sickness is that, something's different.
Your
I
stomach
might
getting
be
ready to
pregnant.
eat for two. You know what I'm saying?
That's because there's life inside of you. There's a reason why in some Asian countries and stuff like that they consider once the baby come out, the baby's 1 year old. because they literally consider
the
the
days.
time that you're in there, you're alive. That's life.
That's life.
That's
bro.
life. So when you come out, no, you're not one. You're not a day old.
That's why they
No.
celebrate the day of the child was conceived. That's why
Right.
your old school people be like, yeah, me and your mama made you in the back of that Cadillac, boy. That's what we made you at, bro. Because that's the day you was what?
That was the day you was formed.
You was formed, thought of. Your name
Absolutely.
you started coming into thought. Once you're in the thought and you finna be manifested, you exist. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't want to really like get into the technicalities of it. I want to just really say, I mean, women's rights to abortion, man, that's their rights. You feel what I'm saying? We as men, we allowed to have our opinion. We got minds, but we don't have a right to, put our input on it.
We should.
I mean,
We should.
abortion?
We should.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's our child.
I'm talking about
bro.
legally. Legally.
No, yeah, we should legally have the right to be decision makers in that decision
And why do you feel that way?
because that's our child, bro.
But yep, I get you. I'm right.
That's our
I'm
kid.
right there with you, but I'm saying that ain't the way it is. I can't see me as I get you, bro. And everything in me wants to ride with you and say it's a man, because that's how we feel. But that's not what it is. I can't raise my son. Hey, man, when you get a woman pregnant, that's y'all decision. I gotta raise my son. Hey, bro, you know what?
I tell you like-
Your older sister, she got here, bro, because I went out there and did something, and once I did that, the ball was in the woman's
I
court.
tell you like this: if I'm in a relationship with a woman and we get pregnant, because that's
It's
how
her
women say
body.
it, though. When
It's
women
her-
describe it, women say
Verb, it's her body.
No,
It's
just
her-
listen
she's
to me.
pregnant.
I understand that.
Your
She is
nipples not
pregnant.
hard.
She
You're
is
not
pregnant,
throwing up.
DK. But listen to me.
But dude, I agree with him. That's
When-
your DNA.
Right.
Like, that is
That's
your
not
DNA.
how it was taught
So-
to me.
But no, that's not how it's taught. But listen, have you
By
not heard?
society.
Have you not heard a woman say, "We pregnant"?
When she want to keep it.
No, just in general. Like when she find out, and it's her, and she's in a loving relationship. I'm not talking about no
I've
woman
heard it.
that
Okay,
get fucked by side nigga.
yeah, in a relationship.
in a loving
when
relationship.
a woman comes show you the
she
picture-
like, we pregnant.
My wife, when she showed me my son was on the way, she said, "Look, we're having a baby. We
Exactly.
are pregnant.
Now, that's the point I'm
What
trying
we
to make.
gonna do? We
So,
can't stay in the
hey,
apartment. No, we gotta move. It was
hey,
we. It was real French after that.
exactly,
It was real
exactly.
French. Black as we is. You ain't lying.
That's the point I'm trying to nail
Yeah,
home. So
yeah.
any relationship I've been in, we've made that decision to keep or abort together. If I was in a relationship with a woman and I wanted to keep my child, and she didn't sit down and talk that over with me, and she decided to just it's my body, I'm getting rid of it. All right, well, get rid of that baby. And after you do that, because I didn't want you to do that, after you do that, then get rid of this relationship too.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to be in a relationship with a woman that feels she has the authority to abort our child
Okay.
by herself
Well,
without my decision.
Well, let's talk about the diction. You want to talk about how women dictionally phrase it when they're in relationships? Well, let's talk about how it was told to me. I'm pregnant, and you need to step up. Yeah, dude, what are you talking about? Bro, this is my baby, and you need to do your part. Bruh, you can be used as an ingredient to a situation. You know what an ingredient is? When they just take a dash of your ass and do this, and they get what they want out the whole mother because they got everything else they
Yeah.
need. You feel what I'm saying? You have no right as a man, bruh, to go out there and be sexually liberated. If you have sex with a woman, you have to accept everything that comes with that. If she decides so, she's your government. And that's facts. And it's all about, I get how we feel, but now we sound like them. Because they talking about how they feel. The government runs you. You are not free.
Yeah, but
See, the women wanted to feel like they were free to do. Okay, no, the government were allowing you to not be at penalty for having life in your room and taking it out. Not gonna say anything vulgar or anything to disrespect women. That's there. I'm in agreement with you. I've lived through it. You feel what I'm saying? I made it through it. It's not that big of a deal to have a beautiful child and you actually have to grow up and man up.
Right.
Okay, I did it. It's not that big of a deal. But now they're telling women to woman up, and women are like, "Oh hell no!" I'm like, I mean, ain't we the same in the capitalistic society? I mean, well, we gotta have the baby. I mean, but don't you know that before you have sex? I mean, y'all told me before I had sex she might get pregnant. If she does, I need to step up. Well, baby, if I know as a man this woman might get pregnant, how does that woman I know she will get pregnant for having sex?
Yeah.
You're the one with the body. So you have far more comprehension of what's at stake than I do. And that's your body. I'm in full agreement with you. But you have to understand, don't take out on me. You know what I'm saying? What I have suffered, I'm going to say suffered, underneath your rule, because it wasn't my decision. That's what I mean by suffer, not raising my child, but just being helpless in the decision making. Mm-hmm. Back when I was 20, I wanted to jump off a fucking bridge. Because I'm like, dude, finna have a kid. I have no job. I'm pursuing my education. I'm not done playing sports. I have dreams. I'm in relationships with other women. You know, like, bro, I had a lot going on.
So here's my question now. In that same scenario,
I lost all my chicks.
in that same scenario, a whole nother situation.
Getting another woman pregnant, I quit.
How bad should a man be looked at in a situation like that, where they sit, they have a discussion, he say, listen, I don't think we're ready for a child, I'm not financially stable, I'm still, doing this, football thing, I'm on my way to the league, yada, 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 right? And then the woman decides to have the baby, and the man says, you know what? I got to do what I'm doing. Like, I understand you had the baby. I said it wasn't time for the baby. Mm-hmm. I'm going to provide for my kid, but I'm not going to stop pursuing what I'm doing to immediately shift things around for that. How would that man be looked at? Because again, the decision was made against what he wanted. He does have to be a father to his child. I'm not vouching for any man being a deadbeat dad. But what I'm saying is, should that man have to derail his high school or college career,
or better yet,
sacrifice, right?
Life.
What his goals, his dreams, and aspirations are to go work at Popeyes to take care of a child that he told the mother he wasn't ready for, right? So if the woman is gonna have all the rights and all the say so of what she's gonna do with the baby, regardless of what the man says, then I think it's that man's right to have all the say so of what he's gonna do with his life, regardless of what decision she makes with that baby.
That sound good. I mean, I let you go off.
Oh,
Boy,
yeah.
I wanted to cut you out 30 minutes ago before we started the show. Nigga, please. God forgive me. Excuse my language. Nigga's America. Okay? Population control, dude. You can't be out there as no man that can have babies, and then the mama obligated to raise a child. You can see that in nature. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? So the mama got to raise a child, and you off making more babies, but there's no financial control over you doing that. Meanwhile, they got to keep a balance to this economy. They got to keep a balance to society. It's deeper than just men being able to have. They got to control that.
So you said something. That was key. You said a key word. You said population control. So let's dig a little deeper, because this is why I like to tell people all the time. We look at things on the surface. And women's like, abortions, my right, my uterus, my body.
Sound good,
right?
AKA population control.
Right, but then when you look at the inception of abortion, where it stemmed from, Planned Parenthood, which was created by Margaret Sanger, who was a racist, eugenics person
this
who
an agenda.
Pretty much incorporated or created Planned Parenthood to exterminate out her mouth nigger babies.
And now you got a lot of I'm gonna have to go ahead.
What is the highest?
Our black women.
I was just about to ask this. Who is the highest nationality of women that have the most abortions?
Black women. And
where are the most abortion clinics found?
In the hood, next to the chicken shack, next to the gas station that sell single cigarettes to kids.
Right by the ACE check.
right by the cash checking place that's giving people 200% interest on the loan.
So they're fooling our women once again.
They're
fooling our women once again by having them to believe that this is a liberation and a right to my body, when in all reality, they are recruiting our women to be a part of the depopulation plan. More than 800 babies are aborted, and you could check the statistics for me. It might have changed. I think it's like 800 an hour, bro. So we want to talk about black on black crime. We want to talk about white people or white cops killing black. Bro,
that's what men deal with. That's
black babies are aborted every hour.
Hold on, I don't even mean to cut you off. That's what the black men deal with. We deal with the laws. We said last week, 1/3 of us go to jail sometime in our life. We won't get damn what it's for.
Right.
Only 3% of black women go to jail in their lifetime. But all the abortion clinics are filled with what? Single mothers who don't want to do it. And all the WIC office and the food stamp office is filled with what? Single mothers who finna do this by themselves. How in the end is niggas still ain't nothing? How we still ain't shit? We ain't got nothing. Man, we are an ingredient. We're a little salt to the situation. That's it, bro. Ain't no two people making no baby. It's you and your government. So, now your real baby daddy, Uncle Sam. Oh, Lord, did I say that? Yeah, I've been drinking that Don Julio. Your real baby daddy, Uncle Sam done told you, if you go out, your real husband, the real Hefe in charge of your life, then told you, man, look, you can't go down there and kill them babies no more for sexual liberation. You gotta go and keep them out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then, whenever hold up, we gotta backtrack that because their real daddy, though their real man, Uncle Sam, the government, the current administration is not for the overruling of Roe versus Wade. So their real man is still for them aborting these babies at 800, 800 per hour.
Then what they tripping for?
Because the current administration doesn't make that call. It's the justices in the Supreme Court that's overruling it because it's the justices in the Supreme Court from 1973 that made the initial ruling, right? So what it's doing by them overturning it is leaving it up to each state to make their own decision of what they want to do in their state instead of the government, which is Biden right now, the Biden administration, instead of them saying straight up pro-choice, women's body, abortion's legal all over the world, whatever. Now, with if they overturn, if the final opinion is to overturn Roe v. Wade, it'd be left up to the states.
They doing the same thing with weed.
Exactly. They're doing the same exact thing with weed.
I wanted to say that. I just don't be like cutting people off, man. My mind works fast. I'm like, this sounds like my case I got right now. Well, I'm telling the people, man, look, 100 miles up the road in Oklahoma, man, I'm good.
Right.
I can smoke at a national park. But that right down here, man, y'all finna lock me up and all this, but I'm paying y'all all this money behind what? And a woman might be able to go to another state like right now. On the same continent, Canada is saying if they overturn Roe versus Wade, then women can go to Canada. Hey, y'all gotta have some love for Canada for that now. And they go to Canada and they can get it done. You know what I'm saying? You can always go to Canada and get some medical, whatever.
It's states in the United States. You don't even gotta go to Canada. It's states here that will still have legal.
I said that, but they saying Canada's saying if anything goes wrong, period, to the point where the United States of America takes that right away from women, that women will still be able to go there as American citizens and have the access to medical help to still get an abortion for any right or any circumstance. I think it's within a certain time frame or everything the same thing or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? You got the world rocking with women, you know what I'm saying? They ain't like they got to panic. But
so I have a question for you. Do you think 6 weeks is an appropriate time for a woman to decide whether she want to abort or keep a child?
I'm a very irresponsible person. I would have to say, bro, if you gonna kill the baby, okay, if that motherfucker ain't seen God's green earth, why does it matter? Like, to me, when women be all like, the child wasn't alive. No, the child was alive, but you're killing it. So why does it matter when it happened? You know what I'm saying? I feel like, let's talk about some 90 days shit. You know what I'm saying? Let her walk around with the little motherfucker a little bit. Let her turn to the side and be like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you giving her the right or you taking it away. If she gonna have the right, I mean, dog, if the baby ain't here yet, the baby ain't here yet. I don't see the point of saying I'm gonna kill it that's why women look at it like, well, when the baby's little, no, baby, it is. It's alive until it come out that cooch, that baby alive in you. But why they put any time frame on your decision that baby ain't been hatched yet? That egg ain't hatched yet, baby girl. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not in agreement with the government trying to tell women 6 weeks to have an abortion. See, that's fucked up too. They either got the right to have an abortion until the baby is born, or they don't until the baby is born. You feel what I'm saying? And so even with a couple might sit up there and be like, yo, we plan to have a child. You know what I'm saying? The child is on the way. 6 months into it, the wife is having so many complications that, the couple's like, man, you know what? I might not want to roll the dice on my wife having this child and dying when my wife can have an abortion. Right. At 6 months. Yeah, because it's getting bad. The doctor's telling them this. Right. Now. This happens.
But there's actually laws and stipulations that says that's legal. Like if it's at the risk of the mother potentially dying or some type of harm, yeah, you can have it at that point. But if you just straight up, I just don't want the baby. That's
baby
not.
Ain't born.
Yeah, but I'm
both them babies dying.
Yeah,
both
but at 6 months. But at 6 months
both
though.
Babies
but what I'm saying is, at 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. 6 months down the line, one woman is saying, you know what? I just don't want to have a child.
Why is it?
The other one. Go ahead. The other woman has there's a high percentage or a likely percentage death may occur and there's some type of physical harm to her body, something like that. And she's saying at 6 months, I need to get rid of this baby because of medical issues that can take place with me. To me, it's two different scales. Like I'm totally with this woman because now it's like, it's either me or the baby. Like I could potentially die on this
But that's
table.
the way this one look at
No. But this one has no medical risk. There's no the doctor didn't say, yo, you could potentially die from having this baby.
Mm-hmm.
So this one just don't want to have the baby because out of sheer just not wanting the responsibility, out of the fact that they may not be financially stable and feel they can't provide for the baby.
And that's where you've had 6 fucking months to decide that, and that's where it should be illegal.
Right.
You've had 6 months.
That's the point I'm trying to
6
make.
months.
So if you got 6 months to make a decision on whether you want to keep a baby for financial reasons, it's different from at 6 months you finding out that, damn, if you go through with this pregnancy, I could potentially die on this table.
Let me say one thing. Quick death, slow death, nigga.
Well, why is this a slow death?
Because that bitch say she don't want to do it, bitch ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Baby gonna be all that grandmama in them house. Baby gonna be an auntie in them house. Baby, you ever seen what
Yeah, but
love
that baby could be the next Kanye West. That baby could be the next Michael Jordan.
Or be
That
the
baby,
next crackhead named Ray asking you for $5. You tell that baby get out the fuck off your car.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, you know I ain't lying.
No,
most of them
absolutely.
babies turn out to be Pookie.
I can't sit here and just act
Baby
like
come
every
out.
baby is gonna be.
They come out to
you
be
know,
the next trifling father.
It may.
This is
it
women's
may,
point.
It may, but my
If
thing
they
is,
don't want to be mothers, they
my
not
thing
gonna
is
do it.
that baby should have the ability to
fight
be born
chance.
into this life.
A
Have
fight
right.
chance.
Just imagine if our moms decided that they just didn't want to have us.
Well, my mom would have fucked up so bad. I look so good. Boy, she'd be so proud of my mom be so goddamn proud of me when I walk through the door, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but she told me she thought my mama had me at 17. You know what I'm saying? My mama, when I was little and we would piss my mama off, my dad had just cheated. I should have aborted all y'all. God damn, mama.
Right.
But hey, shit, it ain't hurt my feelings. I'm here. You could have. Back
Right.
then, hearing that as a kid, once again, my mama had me at 17 years old. If you don't think as a kid, when I got like 10 years old and my mama 27, and then all my other friends in class, they mama 38 and 40 and shit. I'm like, damn. My mama, I could have went to college, you know what I'm saying? But I did graduate high school while I was pregnant with you, know. I'm like, damn, you ain't go to college? You had a full ride scholarship, but I ain't go. My mom went through the same thing I went through. That's why she sat my ass down and told me, no, this is what I went through with you. You're not gonna just abandon the situation that you having a child. I ain't do that to you. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, as a kid, it always crossed my mind if my mama's life would have been better if she aborted me, bro. She had me at 17 years old. And I seen how she suffered, bro, and went through it day in and day out to provide for me, and how that killed her every day. That's why I said slow death, fast death. That's why I died with her a lot of them days. Then she had more kids after that. She said I should have aborted all y'all. When the man who laid down with her and had them kids with her, she felt, I'm not judging, because I ain't gonna speak on my people, but she felt like he wasn't doing his part. So now the whole egg, all the eggs, the whole goddamn cub, all the cubs, fuck all y'all too. Cause the nigga, yep, that's what I grew up in, bro. I grew up learning that if a man, not just for, if you out there having sex as a man, and you get a woman pregnant, bro, you just gotta do what you gotta do if she decide what she decide, bro. Yeah, that's just how it is.
yeah, that's how it is. Doesn't make it right.
No, I ain't say it was right. I ain't say it was wrong. I say that's just how it was.
Yeah.
Because when I went to talk to my great grandpa and them, and when I went to go talk to my great uncle and them about this, and when I went to go sit down and talk to great auntie and them, well, you did it, didn't you? How you feel gonna change it? You know, I come from country people where common sense is key. And it's very, you know what I'm saying? It's what people don't even want to be book smart. They got their common sense. They got a good job and common sense. That's all they want. You feel what I'm saying? Where I'm from in Bunker, Louisiana. And they gonna tell you had sex with a dude, then didn't use a rubber. So we're not even talking about contraceptives for me. You know what I'm saying? For whatever. You know what I'm saying? So as a man, bro, trust me, I totally agree with the common sense of it. But the facts of it is we don't have the access to the governmental rights that women do, and they do. Based on the fact that we don't have to deal with pregnancy, and this is just people's opinion, the way that women have to deal with it. So they have more rights.
I don't.
And in retrospect, we have more jobs.
So how?
Because of our bodies. Just explore. We go work the power lines. Why? Because our bodies don't get pregnant. You know, we go work on the railroad. Why? Because our bodies don't weigh down to where women does. We have our advantages in this capitalist society based on our bodies that women don't have. Too. They might not be as personal as childbirth. You feel what I'm saying? But a man can drop out of college, which is what I did, go learn a trade and go run up a bag. How many women like are able to sit up there? Women can't drive. I got a CDL. How women gonna go drive trucks, bro? They can't. They ain't got the right kind of space. They saying driving school is hard.
Well, we can't say that. We can't, because I know a lot of women truck drivers.
Yeah.
We can't really,
But there's always an
yeah,
exception. I know
yeah.
men who are great fathers and they're better parental figures to their child than the mother.
Which
always exceptions.
Which is why ultimately we just got to look at, we talking about creating life.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a man and a woman to create a life.
Take both.
Right?
Yeah.
2 women can't create life. 2 men can't create life. It takes a man and a woman to create life.
Why do China have such a limit on the kids they can make?
Well, population it's billions of them.
So we have an obligation to the society when it comes to the life we bring into society. So they have to make sure that we're not bringing life into society so much to the fact where it's like rats procreating inside your home, where you had 1 rat, and because that rat met another daddy goddamn rat, now you got 16 rats when you just had to deal with 1 rat. I'm not trying to call human beings rats, but we are viewed as cattle by our goddamn government. And a lot of common sense to this, what I learned when I was 20-some years old and I got to listening to all these Illuminati documentaries and all this, I learned I'm cattle. That the population that I'm bringing into the society has to be controlled. The kids I'm bringing into how I'm adding on to the population, this society has to be controlled for the benefit of this society.
Right.
Yes, there's a lot of ways to use propaganda and media to sway women into believing that, that's your right. You know what I'm saying? And you got a capitalistic obligation to maintain. You have to be somebody's society. You ain't got time to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to be a mother, that's your right. That sound too good. Don't it sound good? I know you don't have a uterus. I don't. But common sense tell you to a woman, that saying I can make money as a man if I want to. I can sit back as a woman and be a mom if I want to. That sound good, nigga. You can say what you want. And when women gotta pay bills too, well, yeah, when what they say back in there, a man will die on you. Well, when that man died, that woman gotta what? She gotta man up now. There's not always a circumstance where a woman just being trifling, but it is a lot of times when a woman being trifling. So we're never gonna have a clear-cut way of having a governmental law that could just solve the problem. There's so many diverse problems in our population when it comes to children coming into this world. You know what I'm saying? Difference of religions, college obligations, financial obligations, broken relationships, all type of stuff, to the point where why is the government involved in decision making when it comes to kids? I totally agree with you. The best we're gonna get is a man. Get the government out. This is my point. Get the government out. Because the government making how I'm saying it is. Put the man where the government at. Let the man have some say so. And that way, when a woman deals with a man, she'll deal with a realer nigga instead of a nigga that can give her a thrill, because you have to understand that some life can come out of this. The government ain't gonna stop that. And he has to say so, and whether this child gonna come to a I feel like it'll make relationship last long, because women have to pick better. Men have to choose better. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So we already got to choose better, because why? She can have the baby.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And I absolutely agree that it should be a mutual decision.
But the government got our spot. That's why I was feeling what you was saying, bro. But I'm like, only 2 people can make the decisions already. It's the woman and her first husband, her Uncle Sam. He the nigga. So what we got? We the ingredient.
Yeah. But see, my thing is this:
because
we're the most important ingredient.
Don't matter.
Without us, we wouldn't even have this discussion.
Naturally.
If we don't plant the seed, if we don't
germinate the seed.
If we don't germinate your seed, right? If
I
we
know what
don't,
you're trying to say, yeah.
If we don't do that, no life forms in your body. You wouldn't even have a decision to make.
But when you have a government that can use the rap industry and the movie industry to promote sex and to make you over-sexualize as a man, then this government sits down and comes up with propaganda to teach your woman that you're all about sex and that you control a man with sex and that the man don't even feel like he's a man without sex. Then the woman feels like she has a power. Then the government upholds that power by saying you have a right to abortion.
All right, riches divide and conquer. And
yeah, and we understand what it is, but see, we're going to have to solve how can these rights, how can men having more rights to women be beneficial monetary wise to the government? So let's if we solve that problem, we might get something.
Let's do this. Let's do a quick detour, right?
Okay.
Because this whole topic today with abortions, right or wrong, again stems from the opinion that Justice Samuel Alito, Justice Samuel Alito had drafted, which was to overturn Roe v. Wade. So just a little context: Roe v. Wade was the decision that was decided in the Supreme Court in 1973. Richard Nixon was the president at the time, and during the 1970s is where the women's rights and the gay rights movements started, right?
Together
in the 70s. So when you look at it from that, and then the Roe versus Wade is actually Jane Roe. Well, her name was Norma McCorvey. That was her name, aka Jane Roe, because she filed under an alias name, and she was up against Wade. I think his name was Henry Wade, which was the district attorney of Texas at that time.
Okay, so this
right?
is a Texas thing right here.
This is Texas. The Roe v. Wade started in Texas, right? And my question to you is, I'm gonna give you some context, and I want you to tell me how you what you think about this. So, the lady, Jane Roe, Norma McCorvey, she had her first child, and she gave it up to she turned the rights over to her mother.
Okay.
She had her second child. She gave the child up for adoption.
Okay, damn.
She got pregnant the third time and decided she didn't want to do either one of those things again. So she wanted to abort the baby. Right?
Miss Rowe was a little slut, huh?
Hey,
damn,
you know.
this is for the same man?
I don't know. I don't know if it was the same man or not, but this
So
is
this one of the first baby mamas.
This is
just a white, was she white, black?
No,
What
she's
was
Yes,
white.
yes.
I think they were all three different men, but
So-
don't quote me on
Right.
that.
So now the third
So this
baby-
been going on.
Right. So now the third baby, she goes to court for, takes it to, she had a woman activist at the time as a lawyer, which was like some 27-year-old woman that was going to law school, whatever. So again, put it in context, this is during the women's rights movement.
Okay.
And during the great gay rights movement, early 70s.
Okay.
So they go to court about this last abortion because Texas said that she couldn't abort the third baby.
Okay.
So they go there, they had the Roe v. Wade determination, and then guess what? She had the baby anyway, bro. She didn't even abort the third baby. She had the third baby.
After having the right to abort.
After having the right to abort, had the third baby anyway.
Sound fake as hell.
Right. And then, not only did she have the baby, later on in her life, she became an evangelical Protestant. And in her remaining years, she was a Roman Catholic who took part in the anti-abortion movement.
Yes.
So that's
The
why all these
same
women.
woman who created this whole Roe v. Wade thing, fighting for abortion because she wanted to abort her third child,
Now
not
it's
only
against
did not abort her third child, but wound up later on in her life becoming an activist for anti-abortions.
She says it's the most horrible thing she's ever done, and she regrets it
You
so
killing,
much
bro. They
getting
wanna,
this passed.
You ever watch 300 when the old white man on the edge of a cliff and they got the baby and they say when the boy was born, if anything would have been wrong with him, he would have been discarded of.
Right.
And you look down and you see all them baby bones down there in 300. That don't make your soul feel funny. I mean, when you think about the Egyptians killing the firstborn children,
The
sons
Pharaoh killing firstborn
of the
son
Hebrew
all,
and feed them to alligators. I mean, baby killing, bro, that's some evil shit. I ain't gonna say the S word because I don't want to make it religious, but that's some wrong shit. Okay, at any point in time, I don't care. But if you are living in a society where you have taught women and taught men, because I'm telling you, I'm a man right now, that if a woman says she want to kill her baby, I'm not gonna look at her less than a woman. Why? I lived through. I naturally have how I feel as a man, but then I'm an intellectual. I'm just gonna be like, well, that's not gonna work out. Like that.
So before you go further on that, though,
Okay.
I want to just stick to the Norma McCorvey being the person who started this Roe v. Wade
Well,
case.
I was coming back to that.
I
was coming back to that.
Like Kat said, saying it was her biggest regret and that she wished she would have never went through with that case.
Well, I brought up what I brought up to explain time, dude. Time and indoctrination and ideology being pushed at a high rate. When at that time you had one woman who they were using as a face for that type of way of thinking. I have a child. I'm out here sexually liberated. I don't want to have this baby. It's not the court shouldn't be able to tell me if I can or I can't. That was in 1971. So you talking about in what? 50, that's been 50 years ago, so a half a century ago, with women having the same ideas, the same push. So that's cool. But how many other women have picked up that challenge of saying, I'm going to teach younger women and other women with an ethos mindset that it's okay to have a baby, and go get pregnant and discard of the baby, or that's your right to do so. So it's nice that, you know, Miss Roe or whatever her name was, you know, she regretted hoeing. A lot of women regret hoeing. All women regret hoeing. I ain't met one woman yet that don't kind of regret hoeing.
Right.
That's cool. That's cool.
No,
to me.
you're 100% right. But I don't want to simplify it to hoeing. Let's put the fuck what she was doing, how many baby daddies she had. Let's leave that to the side.
I'm talking about the religious aspect of it.
The reality is she went to a Texas clinic to get an abortion. They told her no.
Why?
She went to court to fight it, to sue Texas because of the law. She won and still didn't abort the baby.
And to this day,
then became an anti-abortion activist.
And she is still the mascot for abortion, for women who want to have the abortion. She is still the face and the name. Her false. That's why she didn't use her real name, because if we would have known her real name, we would know who she really is.
Well, we know it now. It's Norma McCorvey.
Well, Miss McCorvey, you know what I'm saying? Your name will always be associated with women who want to have sexual liberated sex. That's my dictionary way of putting it, and not want to deal with the aftermath of it. They took your case and applied 50 years of work behind that. Her, you know, epiphany that she had in life and saying that was wrong. That's cool, dude. That's cool. A lot of gangsters start preaching. A lot of people revert from their young ways. I'm not taking that away from her, Miss McCorvey. But Miss McCorvey, because of what you done, okay, like I'll give you an example just to get off topic to make it all make sense. Tukey Williams. By the time he got ready to die in jail, he had regretted creating the Crips. But after he had did them decades in jail, he had already started that. The Crips and Blood, they is what they is today. And even though you didn't want to do that, the domino effect is real.
So I like that analogy you put out. I get it, but the only difference to that is, let's say Tukey Williams went to court to create the Crips because they said, no, you can't create gangs here. I'm taking you to court. I want to create gangs.
And they say
you go to court. Gangs. They say, all right, yeah, you create gangs.
And then he go off and I ain't gonna create no gangs. But gangs still get made because how you felt at one point in time.
Right.
So now we're talking about feelings. Should feelings be applied to law? When I talk about capitalistic measures, I'm talking about I can accept as an intellectual person that the government is going to make all decisions based on its monetary gain and its sustainment. Cool. Monetary gain and sustainment. I'm going to get some money with you too. I'm going to be sustained too. So I ain't tripping about that. But now when people start to be able to impart their feelings into government.
And feelings shouldn't be in government because feelings change over time. Obviously, McCorvey, feelings change, right?
That's what I'm saying. This all started because of how she felt at one point in time. And when she realized how much it was going to take and the measures that was going on and how this was going to affect the whole country, her little case, she reverted.
So now I'm going to do some assumptions, and I don't like to assume.
Okay.
But looking deeper into this case, what it seems to me is that during this women's rights movement and this gay rights movement in the 70s, this woman went to court, whatever. At one point, she felt like she wanted to have an abortion. She didn't get the abortion at the clinic. It wound up getting, the word got back to whoever it was. I believe women came behind her, women that already had an agenda, that was probably already trying to push this abortion shit, got behind her, used her as the catalyst, and said, hey, listen, what they did was wrong. It's your body. You should be able to do whatever you want. We should take this to court. We could sue them in court. And they got her. They got her to sue. You know, shit. For all I know, she probably got some civil damage. She probably got some money out the shit, all of that. We know money will make people do lawsuits, right? Right. You know they used her to create a movement that, like you said, lasted for 50 plus years. Now we're at the point where they're revisiting this Roe v. Wade, and they're like, hey, they was wrong. The government and the justices had no right to tell Texas, you know, and then it was something about, shit, we're gonna leave that alone because I can't think about it. But they try to tie in her, they try to tie in her decision making to like some type of law that was already in place. I think it was a Privacy Act or something like that. And they try to tie that in to where like her abortion, her having the right to have an abortion leans into like the Privacy Act and so on and so forth. And this is how the justices made their decision. But it's being revisited right now. In the first opinion is they overturning it, and we're gonna see what the final opinion is. Me personally, I feel like men should have some say so, and whether, especially if he's in a relationship with that woman, of whether or not that woman should abort his baby or not, or their baby or not. And that's not a feeling thing. That's, as you say, your people like to operate off common sense. That's common sense.
Yeah.
if both of us go down to the car dealership and we both purchase this car, then at the end of the day, we both should be sitting down when you say, yo, I want to sell the car. And I might be like, nah, I'm not ready to sell the car. We should be sitting down having a discussion to figure out how we can come to a conclusion together. Or if we can't, then whatever be done, and then we'll part ways, right?
That's some mature
but it
ass
shouldn't
shit.
be just, hey, you bought the car, we got the car, I don't want the car, fuck how you feel about the car, I'm selling it. And after I sell the car, you gotta pay the fucking taxes on it, and so on and so forth.
To the day your child turned 18.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm just, just throwing
I know,
out. You
that's
get what
why-
I'm saying?
that's why I
Because
connected
I'm
it,
pretty
'cause
sure
I'm like,
once
yeah.
you sell a car, you don't sell tax.
But
You don't pay
that's why
taxes on it. But you know what I mean?
That's why I said you gonna pay tax on a little car till your child turn 18.
Yeah, so it's like.
But dude, that's
and that's common sense. That's not feelings. That's not me being a man and just all in my feelings. That's me saying we both laid down and had this baby together.
But
we
who
both
got
should be
but who
making
got the
decisions
key, But
on
who
this.
got the keys to the car? You ever see? I remember when I was in my young 20s, called myself hustling, right? Boy, I used to play. My mama used to, I love my mama to death. Boy, I used to pay for everything in the house: the gas, water, lights. My mama, hey, you need to go put that weed out. It smell too strong in here. Nigga, I pay for this motherfucker.
in here.
My name on the lease, bitch. Get your ass out right now. Mama, I done paid for everything up in here. I'm finna smoke me some weed now. Grown ass man.
Right.
Gave you money last week for your hair. I'm finna smoke. You gonna put that goddamn weed out, or I'm gonna call the police on you, and I'm gonna show them this lease.
You know what that is? Flexing muscles.
And why can't they do that when God gave them that muscle to flex, dude? And they only ones that have a baby. We don't have babies, bro. They got the lease. They got the lease on the child. That's what I'm saying. We have our involvement. I used that situation with my mother.
We have the most important involvement.
But they got the lease. I told you I was taking care of the house. If I wasn't there, nigga, the house wasn't gonna eat. But without the lease, she got the lease. So when women have the lease, they got the baby.
So if you have the lease, right, and
Look,
if
go
your
ahead.
moms would have said, you smoke this weed in here, I don't care what you pay for, I'm putting your ass out. It's my house, my name on the lease. Let's say you say, man, F all that. I done paid every bill in. I'm smoking in here. F what mama said.
I ain't got no check stubs.
Right? No, you don't.
I ain't got no job.
But you decide to say, I'm smoking in here. And you smoke. She called the cops. Cops tell you get out. You out the house. Well, guess what?
What?
Mama got to figure out how to pay all those bills and all that rent
Bye.
by herself.
Bye.
Yeah.
Right?
But now mama can.
exist.
Exactly.
But now my mama
Bye.
can though, and
But-
they in a society
but-
where they can.
No.
So you translate to a baby.
So here's
and
what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying though. In that scenario, you decided to do something. Your mother decided against it. She got you put out the house, and now she had to take care of all that responsibility that you was doing alone. The difference is, you get a woman pregnant. You want the baby. She don't want the baby.
Okay.
She say, well, fuck that. I'm getting rid of the baby. I don't care what you say.
Uh-huh.
Right? Or let's flip it. Sorry, let's flip it. She wants to keep the baby. You don't
That's what I
want to
was
keep the
gonna
baby.
say. That's what I was saying.
She wanted to keep the baby. You don't want to keep the baby. She say, I don't give a fuck how you feel. I'm keeping this baby.
Okay.
So she keep the baby. Y'all relationship wound up spiraling out of control. Don't work because y'all was on disagreement. But she ain't got to take care of that baby by herself because what? She could take
You
your
there.
ass down to child support.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So she's looking at it as a lot of women are looking at keeping babies as monetary gains. And that's one of my songs, by the way, new single, Monetary Gains, out on all streaming platforms.
But I'm
Go
finna tell
get
you
it.
why they do that. I'm finna walk you through, and
But-
we finna really build. Let's build. I don't mean to cut you off, but you gotta let me build right here.
Yeah. Pick it
One
up.
of the most scariest, and I don't mean scary as in horrific. I mean just scary as in damn. That's all fucked up, man. Was a song by Tupac Shakur called "Brenda's Got a Baby."
Right.
And Brenda was out there, sad about life, had been through a lot as a young woman, was 14 years old out there prostituting, had a baby, and in the essence of the song, it led on to say that, you know, she left the baby in a trash can to die. This is why the government has given these women these type of rights, because women will go to extreme measures. They're human beings too. You know what I'm saying? You can't say because a woman is a woman, she don't think, well, I'll just kill this motherfucker. But she's a spirit. Evil flows, good flows in her. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So in order to protect children at all, they gave women some say-so when it came to having the children so that the children wouldn't die anyway. Because for a woman to have a child she don't want is a slow death to that child. And I've always said that based on the fact that evil does lie in the world. If an evil woman gets pregnant and she don't want to have a baby, because she feel like she's going to abuse the baby or, something's going to go on to that nature, then I totally understand that woman saying, you know what, instead of me fucking over this little child, I'd rather just motherfucking me let the child, not be here. You know what I'm saying? I do fully totally understand that. But I want men to understand that because you don't hold the lease, you can't even protect your child till it get here. While that child is in the womb, if that woman want to walk and just fall on her goddamn belly and kill the child, she can. And that's what the government has come to realize, that you cannot protect that child till it's alive, if you can. You feel what I'm saying? You really can't do nothing for the child but take care of the what? The woman. So if the woman doesn't feel that, she's going to probably what? Cancel the what? The contract on the child. What's the contract? The child life. That makes sense?
Yeah, what you saying makes sense.
The children are in danger because there are women who are willing to go to some extreme measures to not be pregnant. Like a clothes hanger. You ever heard that clothes hanger shit?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna shove a clothes hanger. Nigga, you ever
That's
seen a
what's
clothes?
gonna start happening coming up. People are gonna start drugging themselves,
Yeah.
overdosing,
Illegal
going to
medication. Now you're gonna have the
doctors.
cartel selling women drugs to induce the baby out. We get the baby out. Now the cartel, they gonna come with the fentanyl and the baby inducing shit now. Now when the baby comes, now the women might die from the overdose from the anti-abortion goddamn drugs.
So
This,
it's like
this shit
it's
can
like,
spiral.
it will
Because it's gonna be women who are not going to accept accountability.
It can spiral, but shit, it's already spiraling. Even with Planned Parenthood, 800 Black African American babies are aborted every hour. That's not counting other ethnicities. That's just Black children.
And I love when you say that because
that's spiraling out of control
why-
right there.
why-
Whether it's being done with co-hangers, whether it's being done under fentanyl, drug, whatever.
and
it
I want to
is.
say why has our Black population been 13% for over decades and decades?
Because of Planned Parenthood.
Can I give a real quick statistic?
Absolutely,
Yes,
Kat.
ma'am.
All right, so from the 70s to 2020 or 2019, the abortions have dropped by 20%. 20% since the 70s.
Okay.
In 50 years, they've dropped in 20%. Imagine how much our population has gone up since the 70s. We've had a lot more people born and die since then. Our population has almost doubled in 50 years, but yet our abortions have gone down in 20%. And that's where I feel like it comes into responsibility and what you said earlier as far as maturity goes.
Mm-hmm.
We should all be allowed the right to do whatever we want, no matter regardless if somebody else spoils it for us.
Mm-hmm.
One bad apple can't ruin the entire bunch. Sure, we got all these hoes around here having babies, not having baby daddies. Their children are growing up in poverty, not eating for 3 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
We had that one chick who went out for 5 days and left her child in the house to die and starve to death while she partied. Like, we can't allow these people to allow our rights to be taken away. Me
Yeah,
as
and
an individual, I should be allowed to go get an abortion if I so need to.
Yeah.
Because I'm responsible and mature. And me and my partner, we are on the same page. But yet they're taking that right away from him and I.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted women to realize too. Men, and I love that you just said it because men, like I say, I'm a married man, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not perfect, just like a woman who's out there being sexually liberated is not perfect. So let's say I go out there and I cheat on my wife and everything's cool, the coast's clear, but she pregnant. God damn it, Tex, I can't get no abortion now, man. No, I make all this money. I can go pawn my watch and go get an abortion.
Let me ask you a question. Let's stick on that. You let's just say
I'm just being
let's
theoretical.
just say theoretically
I ain't got no one
speaking.
pregnant.
Yeah, theoretically
I'm
speaking,
just
you're a
talking shit.
trifling ass nigga. You go out, you get a side chick.
Trifling niggas fuck now.
You get a side chick pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question is to you:
Yeah.
how do you get a side chick pregnant?
Shit, you fucking raw.
Raw dog, right?
Yeah.
Raw dog, right? So boom.
Fucking raw.
So if you fuck a side chick raw dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be your responsibility to have her either take a Plan B the next day,
Yep. Pregnancy
or
test
a pregnancy test
to see.
at least a week or 2 weeks later, so that once you find out, y'all can make the decision? Because again, it's only banned after 6 weeks. Like, we have to say that. We cannot let people think that you get pregnant and you can't abort it.
Yeah.
We have to let them know, like, it's a time restraint that they put on it.
And that's what they don't
what
want.
it is.
So
I said that was stupid earlier,
What
though.
happens when we're raw dogging it 5 days in a row? And then I take me a Plan B. All right, we take a plan. We spend $60 on a Plan B.
And that hoe don't work.
A week later, I take a pregnancy test. It comes back negative. 3 days later, I take another pregnancy test. Comes back negative. 6 weeks later, I'm starting to throw up. I don't have my period. I'm having these complications.
And y'all both agree to abortion but don't have the legal right.
Right. And it's just because my estrogen was low, and that's the only reason why it wasn't showing my pregnancy was positive. That's why. Just because my estrogen
So this is
was
my
low.
question though, Kat.
But
right?
yet I'm not allowed to get an abortion.
So
that's not right.
Here's my question to you, Kat, and I understand where you're coming from, but my thing is you just said 5 days in a row with raw dog.
In a
having sex.
relationship with a man.
In a relationship with a
Yeah.
man. Right.
Yeah.
But if you're in a relationship and you don't want a child, why are you raw dogging and nutting up in a woman?
Because they
It-
both
the
can come-
only-
Because
Hold
we're
on,
pay-
listen.
because we're
they
paying
both can
the
come together.
government.
This is what you said. No, this is what you said. You said as long as the man have a say so. In her situation, her man has a say so.
So no, but listen,
right?
listen what I'm saying, bro. Just hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm talking about accountability, maturity,
Mm-hmm.
responsibility.
Okay.
Right? I have a homeboy.
Yeah.
Right? He been with his woman for 16 years. Right?
Yes,
she
sir.
has a child that he considered his.
Yeah.
She wanted to have another child with him for years. For 16 years, the only woman that he with, he do not take off a rubber, bro. You know why? Because he don't want a baby. So why am I nutting in my girl 5 days a week if I don't want no child?
But at the same time, if
That doesn't make sense,
if you
bro.
If you live in a country
it doesn't
where
feel good.
5 states over,
It does feel
hold on.
good, though. You're
Hold
right.
on, thank you. Why they gotta be robbed
Yeah,
of good sex?
but you ain't got
hold
a
on,
nut in
but
there.
hold on, but
Pull out. Your
but
pull
you
out
might-
game got to be on fleek.
I don't know the laws in Kentucky, but you might be able to go to Kentucky and they can have raw sex and get an abortion. It's not about what's morally right and what's wrong and what we look at with common sense.
All right, so then-
it's
so
about
then-
governmental
all right,
access to rights.
Right.
That's all it's about.
Should a couple that's
A
in
couple on the
a
same
couple
page
that's
be
in
able
a
to go get an
situation
abortion
that want to
and
have
a-
an abortion that's having
shut the fuck wrong, go get an
that's having
abortion.
unprotected sex, right? They don't want kids, but they have unprotected sex and nothing in the person. Shouldn't they move to a state where abortions are legal?
They a couple, you goddamn right. But I don't feel like the state should be talking shit about what them people can do in a country, in the land of the free, where in this same country, this motherfucker smoke weed, I can't. This motherfucker clip his nuts off, I can't.
All right, let me ask you a question.
This motherfucker have an abortion, I can't. We in the same country. That's what it boils down
You're
to.
licensed.
This is political.
You carry guns, right?
Hell
You
no,
exercise
hell yeah.
your Second Amendment right, right?
Hell yeah.
All right. I just moved from New York down here, not primarily for that, but that was
Yeah.
a major part of my decision
And that's-
because I can't exercise my Second Amendment right in New York.
Yeah.
So my thing is, if you know you can't exercise your Second Amendment right in New York, would you move to New York?
Was it cheaper or more expensive to leave New York and come to Texas?
It was cheaper.
So you're just saying,
Along with the gun rights.
Yeah.
So
But what
so
I'm
what
just
if I-
saying, I'm just
so
saying,
what if a
I'm just
woman-
saying
so-
rights wise. Hold on, 1
Okay.
second. I'm just saying rights wise. If I want a specific right for myself,
Okay.
and the state that I'm living in doesn't allow me that right, then it's either I stay there and deal with the fact that they restricting or prohibiting my rights, or I go to a state where I can exercise that right.
But I brought up the finances. I want to move to California, Verbs. I can't afford it.
Yeah, but why would you want to move to California? You
Just
can't
to smoke
exercise your,
weed.
but you can't exercise your right to carry. So
But
which one is it?
I might not want to carry a gun. I might want to move to Holly Hills and just smoke weed. I can't move to Holly Hills and smoke weed. I can't move to Baldwin Hills. I can't go to Hollywood. I can't go off of that motherfucker to I want to go to Hollywood. I want to live in a nice part and smoke weed all day. My nigga, there's a monetary requirement for that. These
Yeah,
women might want to go to somewhere. Let's say they can go
All
somewhere.
right, but can't you do that in Oklahoma?
But I can't make no money in Oklahoma, man. Them niggas making $2 an hour in Oklahoma, man. This
you
niggas
mean?
make some money in Oklahoma,
Well,
but
yeah.
they got an education. Or some
But you
shit.
you talking about working for somebody? We're not talking about working for people.
Well, nah, I get what you're
You
saying.
can
I'm
make
talking-
money
but
anywhere.
I'm talking about the stereotypical person who has a job, who
Right.
want to have their life. You know what I'm saying? Am I gonna move states, leave my family and everything to go fuck in a liberated form? I mean, goddamn, my nigga.
Nah, I just feel like I just feel like this. I just feel like this. Like if you and I go back to what I was saying about my boy.
Yeah.
And that's why I commend him on it. 16 years. 16 years. I think 17 maybe. He been with his woman, bro. Son
Yeah.
don't sleep without no condom, bro.
Yeah,
With his woman, his main woman.
yeah.
I ain't talking about no main woman. He don't sleep without a condom. Why he don't sleep without a condom? Because he don't want no child.
Yeah.
So that's responsible. That's what you call responsible, bro. It ain't about, I don't want no child, but man, raw sex sure feel good.
So you saying
and
that-
I don't got no, hold on, I don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have the discipline to pull out. So I'm just gonna keep nutting in her. Knowing I don't want no child, I'm just gonna nut in her. And if she get it pregnant, shit, we just, whenever we find out, we just gonna go abort it. To me, that's irresponsible.
Hey,
bro.
there's shit that still happens. You can pull out. You
Thank you.
can accidentally still get pregnant.
Yeah, pre-com.
You can have a rubber on.
Yeah.
You can
Breaks.
break that rubber.
Right. Accidents happen.
Birth control cannot
Accidents
work.
happen.
Plan B cannot work.
Accidents happen, but you cannot call something that's intentional an accident. You
Yeah.
intentionally nutted in me 5 days in a row.
But how do
That's
we,
not no
but
accident.
how do we as a society divide up what's an accident and what's really real, Verz? We're not gonna.
An
be able to do
accident,
that.
accident is a condom. An accident is a condom.
So I'm
popping.
gonna go to the abortion clinic and say I'm allowed to have an abortion because my condom broke.
Yeah.
Their condom didn't
No.
break. They got to keep theirs. That's not gonna be able to happen. It's gonna have to be
No.
one clear-cut law,
No.
one clear-cut rule that benefits America in a capitalistic, monetary way. That the law can be in place that we all have to
Hey,
follow.
Can you do me a favor, one of y'all, real quick?
What?
Just let me know, right?
Yeah.
How soon can a woman find out when she's pregnant?
Okay. Okay. Let me see right here, man. That's why I got my.
Because I know I've been in relationships where we take, pregnancy tests. We find out whether we pregnant or not. That's it. It's not, taking 20 pregnancy tests and finding out 3 months later.
They
No,
say
I've
you
never
can
been
do
in
a
a situation
test on
like
the
that.
first day.
I always found out in a month.
It say she could do a test on the first day your period's due. It say the test measures a hormone called the human. What's that? I ain't even finna try that. What's that? Chorionic gyne. I'm not finna say this shit. HCG
Yeah,
in your
it's-
urine. It said for the result to be positive, your body must be making enough for the test to pick up. That's what she said earlier. Usually about 2 weeks after you conceive. So it normally takes one about 2 weeks, bro.
Right.
Okay, so that would be 6 weeks.
That's
Wait,
three
wait, wait,
times
we
the-
get-
that's
wait,
three-
wait.
So 4 weeks before you miss your period, they consider your egg to be viable. And when that sperm hits your egg,
Uh-huh.
you then are pregnant. You're fertile.
And-
You had that baby is about to start
Germinated.
making. It's germinating.
Right.
It's becoming a gestation period.
Fucking germ.
And you can find that out in 2 weeks. They just said it.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Take 2 weeks.
To
But-
see that
but-
they already started.
So look, so 2 weeks, yes, but technically you're already 4 weeks in because that egg has been there 4 weeks before your period.
No.
So-
But here's the thing though, right? So it's not. It's not 6 weeks from when your eggs are there, right? Because your eggs are always there.
So let me
at
tell
the end of the day.
Let me tell you from personal experience. My friend,
Okay.
my girlfriend, she had an abortion 2 years ago. She found out on her second day of her missed period. Second day of her missed period. So 4 weeks in between periods, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Her period was supposed to start on Sunday. On Tuesday, her boobies were hurting. So she went and took a test. It immediately came back positive. She went to the doctor the following week. My friend said that her doctor said she was 6 weeks into that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if the doctor is lying to her or if it's not technically 6 weeks in. But how can my girlfriend go in 4 days after missing her period and the doctor tell her she's 6 weeks in when she had sex one time that month 4 weeks before? So it doesn't make sense
Yeah,
to
that
me.
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't,
And
it doesn't
it-
make sense.
And that happens.
And we-
but-
but
and
we-
that-
but
and
we
it doesn't
know-
make sense because the woman. It makes sense because of what the medical industry is telling us. We're relying on a lot of the information that's been told to us by an industry that treats us like cattle. You know what I'm saying? The medical industry. So
This is true.
I want to understand, how does it benefit the medical industry, and which is big pharma, you know what I'm saying, the hospitals and all that, for women to have abortions versus for them not to have abortions? Because that's what I'm trying to get people to see what it's about. We're going to always have our social point of views. We're going to have our political point of views. But until you see where the money is coming from, okay? What were hospitals making before abortions? And now all of a sudden you got all these abortion clinics. Why? There's a new medical purpose in society. Abortions. You know what I'm saying? So they created a new medical purpose, which brought what? New medical dollars. And then the lifestyle also allowed women to be able to go out there and further involve themselves in their capitalistic gains and in their capitalistic, endeavors where they want to go grow themselves. You know what I'm saying? So look at the money. I'm tired of.
And then not only the money, we got to look at what's happening when they scraping these fetuses out. What are they doing with these fetuses?
Oh,
the
that
medical,
part.
but they
All
say
of
they
the
say they,
experiments,
That
all-
part.
they
yeah.
say they eating them, or they putting them in their face. They using it for the medical industry. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
D&D.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
You got the D&D. Turn the volume
you
down.
know what I'm saying?
son.
So man, but nah, bro. I just wanted to let people see like the monetary side of it, man. When you got people that saying that, look, okay, well, women get pregnant how often? 9 months, right? Every 9 months, a woman get pregnant. She has a couple checkups, not enough money. when if a woman's getting pregnant, 7 times a year? I mean, we might get hit her for that bag 7 times a year out at the abortion clinic. You know what I'm saying? If she get pregnant in the next 5 years, she might have a baby 5 times. What in the hell? I just cut up do not disturb. Okay.
Now, is this why they don't give us free birth control?
Yeah, that's why.
Is this like
because it's monetary?
Endless cycle. So, they don't want you to have birth control so that you can get pregnant and then go get an abortion and they can make money off of that as well.
Mm-hmm. Like birth control pills. That's all monetary. So I'm trying to let women see, is it so much about right or wrong, or is it so much about that money? Because if it was about right or wrong, they would get the birth control for free. They would be able to access the abortion clinics for free.
It's always about money, and that's what the woman got to understand. I tell you all the time, like, it's not just women, it's people in general. That's how they manipulate people, through their emotions. They make you feel like they're doing something for your best interest, but it's helping their bottom line 10 times over. So yeah, as a mother, I the father's not around, I can't take care of the child, I want to have an abortion. You feel liberated because you have the right to just walk in and get an abortion.
But you don't see the money.
But they make so much more off of your abortion, not just money. Like we said, medical reasons. Research is taking the fetus, using the fetus for this, that, and the third. Like you got to understand, like.
Which, by the way, it's almost $1,000 these days for an abortion.
For an abortion,
it's $800.
Now look at this. Now, okay, throughout the whole time that it was okay for a woman to have an abortion or keep her children or be an independent woman, there was WIC. There was food stamps. We're in a food shortage now, G. They done blew up like 5 food plants all across America. So how are they gonna get these children free food?
But now here's my question though, right? And I like what you just brought
like
up.
the food stamps, like
No, I like what you just brought up.
The government is getting to the point where they can no longer, and I want women to see this. The government is getting to the point where they can no longer support your sexual liberation. Your first husband, Uncle Sam, can no longer support. He's that man in your house when you don't have a man in your house, and he's saying he ain't able to foot the bill no more. Then he's saying right now, oh, well, if we finna go to war and everything, we ain't gonna have time to be killing babies. We want to keep the population up. If it's a war coming, people are going to die. Guess what? You have to repopulate after people die in order for them to have people to use to keep being rich. So now it's time for y'all to have babies. Now, right when they come after sexual liberation, that was after a couple world wars? You know what I'm saying? So now women can have a baby without a man if you don't want it. But yeah, the population still did what after that? It grew. That's why they didn't need a man's agreement to have a child. They had their government. So now that we're going into war and everything like that, and you could tell a woman, hey, if you have a baby, you're going to have to keep it now. And you have times of famine. You have times of poverty coming. You have inflation at a all-time high. A woman is going to restrain from having a baby during these times. Why?
So look, abortions are $800 to $1,000. Right? That's the number we just got.
Yes, sir.
If the man is not present, or even if the man is present and the man doesn't pay that bill, and that woman go get an abortion, that means she has to have some type of Medicaid or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So the bottom line is all these multiple abortions that's happening so often on a regular basis is being paid and funded by tax dollars that we pay, right? Mm-hmm. So the bottom line is, yeah, I understand my right, my body, but you ain't paying for it. So as much as it's your body and you have the right, if it's my money that's funding that shit, then I have say so too.
Okay, but what about if you are paying for it?
No, if you coming out your own pocket, right? I still feel like at the end of the day, after 6 weeks, you should. But if you're coming out your own pocket, then and you have your own right to do what you want to do with your body, perfectly fine. But we know that an overwhelming amount of women are not paying for these abortions for themselves. One, they either asking the man to pay for it,
or they going sex with them,
or they going and they getting it done with some Medicaid and stuff. Like I've even heard stories where women have went to Planned Parenthood with other women's Medicaid cards and got an abortion under their name. Word to mother, bro. So it's like
I heard of that. Yeah, I heard it. Just to keep it concealed because they don't want people to know. Yeah. And that's why I don't like when men are trifling. When men are trifling, why do you go out to expose a man cheating? Why do you go out to expose a man as a bad father? Why do you go out to expose a man won't step up and take care of his child when you want that to be your government right?
Bro, I know a woman that was married with a husband, had sex outside of the marriage, got pregnant, went and got an abortion under his medical insurance for his job. He found out because he got the medical bill.
Oh,
like, bitch, how you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, Yeah, bro.
So it's like, all right.
And every time we talk about a boy, they talk about some. What about our medical? Like they just take it straight to medical. They don't ever talk about the trifling shit. They just go, well, it's
medical. And that's what I'm saying. My thing is just I'm just a realistic person, and I like to be fair. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, if you're gonna talk about rights, if you're gonna talk about your body, your choice, and all of that, then what about the rights of the American taxpayers that are funding these abortions? Do they not have no right on what their money is going towards?
Nah. Just like the women now don't have a right on having a baby or not. Which is what I'm saying. This government that y'all been high men for so long, men like me, bro, I could have been a lawyer. I had 3 hours of law school credit if I even went to high school to George Mason University. I wanted to be a lawyer. After having that child and saying I can't even buy my child a pack of diapers and everybody telling me I'm a bad father, man, I was stealing out of Walmart, dude. Stealing Allegra allergy medicine. And taking it back to other Walmarts just to get money to buy my child diapers and wipes because her mother would drop her off with no diapers and wipes after I sent all my money in child support.
See?
And she said, I don't have to give you child diapers and wipes.
That's another topic we need to get to, too, because this child support shit has become a way for women to just get an income. And then they take the money and they don't even put it towards the children.
No.
They use it for themselves.
It's called home support.
And this is right. And this is why, this is gonna be a topic within itself, bro. Mm-hmm. But child support need to be reevaluated because we need to start seeing what the fuck is being done with these child support funds.
Child support need to be, what do they call it when they come in? They need to
audit it. Yes.
Or they need to abolish it. Either A.
Yeah.
You need to audit it or abolish it.
But again, this is another way they play into women's, feelings and pockets because
why?
Child support is not put into place to primarily help the woman. Mm-mm. What it is to do is to put the man into the system. It's and if you don't know, I'm letting you know now. In the court system, child support, all that money that comes through the child support system is put into an account where they grow interest and they invest that money before they send that money to the mothers.
Yeah.
So they're making money off of the money and the child support that's held into this escrow account because it's like basically that's how you can look at it. Like child support system got one big escrow account. Everybody that's paying child support, especially if it's being garnished out your check, is going right into this escrow account. And then from that, they pay it out to the woman. Yeah. So the system is really benefiting off of this.
It's banking.
But they're using the woman
as the puppet. Telling her that, hey, baby girl, and I learned this when I was in church, you know what I'm saying? Back when I was in church, because it made sense to me. If I'm in a pilot's plane, I don't think just because I'm in that pilot plane, that pilot got a right to crash me. I don't think, if I'm in a bus, I don't think I have a right, to die, or the bus driver have a right to kill me because I'm in their bus. I look at a woman like, you the carrier of the child, but that's still that child's body, that's still that child's life, you the carrier of it. But your government refuses to push that to you like that. They teach you that that's your body, the child is a part of you, so whatever you feel like doing, you can do. When a woman has an abortion, the child is the one that's going through everything. You feel what I'm saying? The child's the one that dies, the child the one that loses life, but she's saying it's my body, then why is what you're doing affecting the child? Okay, that's cool. I get it. That's how I look at it, but okay, that's cool. The government's taking these rights. Mm-hmm. For you to say that this child is a part of my body, it's connected to me. It's not your body. The child is connected to you, and you should have the right to do away with that. All right, let's explore. They take that away. They take child support away. How many women out here having babies? What the population gonna do? Right now, women are gonna keep having sex because they're not gonna be able to what? Just go have the baby.
Women are having these babies. It's a vast majority. Let me not say vast majority. There's a lot of women that are having babies just for child support. And a lot of those women target NFL, future NFL players or even current NFL players or pro athlete players or, entertainers or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. This is why you have these women that have 3 and 4 babies from 3 or 4 different celebrities and entertainers. And each one of those celebrities and entertainers paying $20,000 to $30,000 a month in child support. You get what I'm saying? Like recently there was Black China. Yeah. Had a post talking about
Kardashian.
Yeah, talking about why she not getting child support, but yet and still for her child from Rob Kardashian and her child from Tiger, she only see both of them twice a week.
And want the money for them.
Why the hell you want child support if you only see them twice a week?
Because look, if I go out here and I can make it in a capitalistic manner, compete with these men and stun on these men with my high-paying job,
I gotta take
I take that. You feel what I'm saying? If I can go out here and tell men I make more money than you in this society, I'll take that. If not, I'm a pimp them. And that's gonna always keep women what? Engaged and voting and participating and just rising with Americans. Why? They can't lose. They can't. I can go out here and pimp a nigga, or I go out here and be a nigga. I go out here and pimp a man, or I go out here and be a man.
Right.
It ain't got to be racial, because white folks, Mexicans, everybody go.
Yeah.
If you're American, you go Asian man, everybody going through it. It's a game.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, now that they got they got the man's money tied up in this, they can take the money while it's in between, invest it, cut the woman a little side piece. She 9 10s out of what? She gonna keep all her money because she ain't got a man to protect her in the house. Where at? In a bank. So everything she works gonna leave. They taking that money and investing it through what they call it. I wanted to say it was a fractional reserve banking, where they're taking 90% of your money and they're investing it and only giving you 0.01% of your money, interest of your money that they took from you, not what they made off of you.
Right.
So how many women are living like that? I know you got I got money in the bank. In the bank, because you ain't got a man in your house to protect you. So you got yours in the bank, and you calling the police, so you believe in paying taxes.
And you're not making no interest on it. You're not gaining nothing off of it, but they're gaining 30 to 40% interest off your money probably every month.
So you rather say I'd rather be independent from a man and not let a man slave me, but I go work to build up a society that will come back and tell me I have no rights, the same way a man in a house that I had to depend on and have to use him to feed me and have to use him to buy my clothes.
Right.
He would have to tell me this right now. And I don't, and the way the government got me to invest all my last 50 years since Roe versus Wade was to tell me I didn't have no man, only for the government to ultimately be the man in your life. To me, that's like such a mind fuck, it don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? How can you not have the right to that you had the last 50 years come up in question now? You feel what I'm saying? Hold on, let's change our minds. Hold on, with women's bodies, bro. Like, we done got used to it. Nah, that's my whole point. Like, hey, even men getting used to the fact that, that's a woman's body. He ain't got to have no baby. That don't sound bad to some men. You know what I'm saying? Some men like, well, we still had a child. Yeah, and I feel that way too.
Yeah, that's people that just go with the program. You got to understand, bro. We got a lot of people in this
some
world
people are forced.
that just goes with the flow of things.
I feel like men are forced to go with this program, dude.
Nah, not me. I ain't forced to do shit.
Well, if you go out there right now and get a woman pregnant, she start playing games, you will be forced.
Forced to do what?
Shit, have the baby?
Huh?
Have the baby?
First of all,
if you go out there and be sexually liberated as a man and a woman gets pregnant, a woman can be sexually liberated, she gets pregnant, she can kill a baby. Right? That's the right they want.
That's true.
If you go out there as a sexually liberated man and you go have a child, that decision's not in your court, dude. I mean, that's nice that as a man you would want to be a dominant figure and say that in a situation with a woman, you would be able to have your input. But ultimately, that woman will be giving you an input out of respect for you, or out of admiration, or out of, you know what I'm saying? She might idolize you a little bit and look up to you. But that's why she's giving you a say-so, because she fucks with you and she looks at you maybe like you're more than her. You feel what I'm saying? No woman who's in an equal situation with a man, or that was in a fair situation with a man, is going to give two flying fucks about what that man thinks about her having a child, when the government, the propaganda, the media, all the other women have told her that ain't got nothing to do with him.
Right.
And any man that understands insanity, it means you keep trying to do the same thing, get a different result. I kept telling people for weeks, I don't want no baby. They said, you going to have a baby. At some point, I'm having a baby. I couldn't keep saying, well, even sometimes even feeling like things are right will drive you insane when things are obligated to be wrong. That's why I'm getting at when it comes to a man looking at
I've been in situations like that.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, baby, that just, like grandma and them say, baby, that just ain't the way things go.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Tupac said that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to explain to men, when it comes to abortion, man, we don't carry them children. We ain't got the lease on them children until they get here. Then when they get here, there's still some baby shit. They got to be breastfed. They got to have their ass white. Man, we don't start fucking with them children. They about 5. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the truth. If you got a real mother, if you have a real mother and you're a real man in a real situation, you're at work, you're a provider for her. She really dealing with that child until that child gets out of hand and she cannot keep that child on the mode. Now all of a sudden, dad will come on whoop your ass. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that's elementary school. That's I got friends, other influence outside the house. No, up until then, that child don't want nothing but his mama, male or female. And it's that attachment that children naturally have to their mother, male or female, that these scientists and these government looked at outside of monetary, and how if these women are not comfortable with these situations, even in nature, a female anything will kill their children if they feel like it's the best circumstance. There's a lot of animals in nature that would murder their children for certain circumstances reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but then again, them animals also don't have, a place where they can take those cubs to be adopted or to drop them off or something. So my thing is like, you don't have to kill a baby. Like, you don't have to leave no child unattended for 5 hours. You don't have to drop no child off in no garbage can. You could drop them off at the hospital. You can drop them off at the fire station.
But
You can drop them off at the church.
Even man will drop a scuba child up that they see sitting in the fire hydrant and shit kidnap them. It's about evil people. See, what I try to get people to understand is we as a man, we naturally want women to be more innocent and more good and more moral than us. We want that because we understand that's the key to life. If a woman is moral, we're going to survive because we're going to have to follow her suit. She's the one to make the babies. We don't live in them times no more. A woman will not.
She don't make the baby. She don't want to carry the baby.
Well, she carries the life.
She don't make.
We
make life.
I feel it. But
Men make life.
I feel it, but we don't deal with the process of life coming to earth. You know what I'm saying? We get a nut and we go about our business. You know what I'm saying? If I had to sit down and tell
not me.
I mean,
I don't think you did. Well, maybe early in your age.
Nah, I didn't.
I never had. From the time I had children, it's never been drop the seed off and then I know.
But see,
I'm at every doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm running out to go get you food.
While I'm at the doctor's appointment, I'm swole in the motherfucker. Right, I had my baby in college. Think my baby mama, I didn't gain 30 pounds. I ain't gain no weight.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm up motherfucking at night sleeping good, the motherfucker. I can't toss and turn my bed too. I can't even sleep comfortable, goddamn. I'm walking, hey, come on, let's walk fast to the stove. My feet hurt, my feet swole.
Right.
We have to give women a universal respect. Like they have to give men a universal respect for taking care of the motherfucking house, for going out this motherfucking world and climbing these power lines and working these railroad tracks and motherfucking me getting that stray ass dog out the corner of your street. You know what I'm saying? We want our respect for that. We demand our respect for that. And I'm going to demand my respect as a man, but I'm also going to give a woman her respect and demand that she gets her respect for the fact I don't want to do that shit. I don't want to carry I will give you more respect in this situation for the responsibility that you're obligated to carry in this situation because I'm asking for it in retrospect when it comes to the house. When this baby get here, you shut the fuck up, you let me run shit. From the time, but till then, hey, look, I'm rubbing feet. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm folding your clothes. We're going to all the doctor's appointments, whatever, baby. Right now, you the weaker vessel.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But when I get out
and you got baby in your stomach, and you need to be.
But when the baby
catered to,
yeah, I need you to cook, clean, wash clothes, all that. Because now that the baby here, nigga, for the next 18 years is me, not this little motherfucker here.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like I do want to spoil our women when it comes to bringing our children into this world.
They gotta be worthy of spoiling, though.
Yeah.
They gotta be worthy of spoiling.
But you should decide it as a man for you put dick in her.
Absolutely. This goes back to accountability and responsibility.
And we gotta be accountable.
Right.
Do women have to be accountable, Verse? Be real. They should be, but do they have to be?
Well, in today's society, it seems like they don't have to be.
Seems like they don't have to be, which is just facts. They may have to be to some degree, but when you think about it, seem like you can't be crazy and say women need. You're gonna wake up tomorrow saying women need to be accountable. They ain't gonna be accountable. You're gonna wake up next week saying women gonna need to be accountable. They're not.
So here's the thing, and you're right about that.
So we have to come up with a game plan that's gonna work.
Here's the thing, though. If women never become accountable, they never see where they're wrong at. And then they never could make corrections.
If women never become accountable and we become accountable, we'll get the power of the kids. By power of the kids is when I was accountable with my baby mother. It came a point in time in my life, my baby mother and my child, my oldest daughter, they stopped getting along. Mm-hmm. And because I was accountable as a father, I ended up getting power over the situation because my daughter wanted to live with me.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So it took 12 years. And the fact that I stayed down for that's over 3,000, 4,000 days. You feel what I'm saying?
Like I say all the time, kids got to get older and see things for themselves.
And when my daughter did, she said, "Dad, what come stay with you?"
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like, me being more accountable, it gave me more power to say. It took the hell a lot of time, nigga. 12 years of fucking slave.
Right.
But at the same time, now my daughter knows who genuinely loves her. She knows who she wants to live with. My baby mama does not have that power with me anymore. Now I'm making money. I ain't got to worry about child support anymore.
Right.
Because why? I stepped up, man. You
Absolutely.
So I'm telling women, one side either step up. If y'all feel like abortion should be legal, then okay, cool. But then that means you should not tell a man to step up. Then that's my only where it gets contrary in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Start having a contradictional kind of state in my mind. It's like, hold on, we all need to be on the same page. And the fact that we're not on the same page is the reason why it's always going to be a confusion when it comes to how these kids are coming into this world.
Right.
Okay. If there's no abortion, okay, cool.
But I think the biggest problem why we're not on the same page is that men. It doesn't seem that men get the respect that they deserve for creating life. Like we're looked at as just the ingredient or a ingredient, but we're actually the ingredient. Okay. We're not a ingredient because without us,
don't nothing shake.
Product doesn't form, right?
Or sustain.
Right. So with that being said, today's topic: abortions, right or wrong. I'm I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Me neither.
I'm just saying make it make sense.
We gotta get on the same page.
Make it make sense,
Let's
right?
just get on the same page with it.
And you know, I'm gonna close with this, and then you can have your final words, DK. If it's your body, your choice, then I hope you was as active and as vocal as your body, your choice when they started mandating these goddamn vaccines. Because if you was out here talking about, oh, get the vaccine, da 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 da, and you wasn't, and you was criticizing and ridiculing people that didn't want to get the vaccine because it was their body and they didn't want to put something in their body that they didn't know was gonna harm their body. If you're one of those people that was against that, then I don't want to hear shit about you when it comes down to this abortion thing and you talk about my body, my choice. Because if you're gonna do something, then don't be hypocritical, don't be contradictory. Like, be all the way fair with it. I can respect somebody that's about my body, my choice with abortions, and then on the other hand, they like, no, like even if they took the shot, they're like, no, yeah, I took the shot, but you can't force people to take a shot. You can't make them put.
That's real.
I respect that. But if you took the shot and you looking at somebody that didn't take the shot as something wrong with them, but then again, you holding up a protest sign at downtown Dallas talking about no abortion or no women's rights and my body, my choice, you're a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, man.
You're a hypocrite, and what you say and how you feel really has no bearing on how I view things.
And socially, I hope the government has made the women realize how much pressure they've been putting on men these last 50 years when it comes to us not having control over bringing children into this life, into the world, you know what I'm saying, and how we bringing forth life. And the next time you look at a trifling young man, I mean, just try to see that as a spirit, as a human being. Look at that the same way you see a scared young woman that's pregnant.
Right.
You know, I was so scared, dude. I cannot explain to people how I cried and I was scared and I was so disappointed that I was bringing a child into this world I didn't know how I was going to take care of. And, you know, women don't understand. Men have feelings too. The only difference is when we get in our feelings, we can't get out of them.
Right.
I was scared until today. And guess what? I'm gonna wake up scared tomorrow because I gotta take care of that little girl till she's 18 years old, and I can't.
Shit, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
For the rest of her life,
yeah,
but really,
yeah, we gotta stop that. Take care to 18. It's way beyond 18.
Well, you say 18 because at that point you can start teaching them to help you take care of them. See, right now until 18 is all on me. Now I teach my kids when you turn 18. Now you can start helping me. You know what I'm saying? Take care of you.
Help me help you.
God damn it. You know what I'm saying? So I got to 18. Then she gonna give me some relief. You know what I'm saying? But man, let's drop the standards of the men who want to be trifling, man. We all want to be sexually trifling, man. Let's go and let everybody be liberated. That's a spirit. Good sex is a spiritual thing. That's not just more for men or for women. It's for everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you down for good sex and being free, then you know what I'm saying, hey, these kids.
Yeah, be sexual liberated, but protect your sexual energy.
Exactly.
Don't be liberated with every motherfucking body, because that's where you wind up having babies by deadbeats and shit like that.
It can't get on the same page with the baby you had, motherfucker you had a baby with. Right. But thank you. That's been a great show. So with that being
said, we're done for today. This has been 2 Peas in a Pod.
Cass.
And I'm your host, Rich.
I'm your host, DK.
And we out. Peace.
Peace, man.
Kim from Khan Academy. Today we're learning more about Roe versus Wade, the 1973 Supreme Court case that ruled that the right of privacy extends to a woman's decision to have an abortion. To learn more about Roe versus Wade, I spoke to 2 experts on the case. Clark Forsyth is Senior Counsel for Americans United for Life and the author of Abuse of Discretion, The Inside Story of Roe versus Wade. Melissa Murray is the Alexander F. and May T. Morrison Professor of Law at Berkeley Law School, where she also serves as the faculty director for the Center on Reproductive Rights and Justice. Mr. Forsyth, could you set the stage for us a little bit? What was going on at this time period?
Well, there were efforts in the 1960s to repeal abortion laws in the states. And when abortion activists were dissatisfied with those efforts, they decided to go into the courts. And around 1969, they took some cases into the courts, and ultimately there were 20 or more cases challenging state laws in the courts between 1969 and 1973. And Roe versus Wade was a case from Texas.
Roe was litigated in the early 1970s. It was a period of enormous change in the United States. We were beginning to see the beginnings of the women's rights movement, the beginnings of the gay rights movement, and of course, the civil rights movement of the 1960s was moving in a lot of different directions. at the time, the question of abortion was very much on the minds of lots of different state legislatures because there had been moves to liberalize much of the criminal law that dealt with matters of sex and sexuality, including abortion. At the time, 4 states, New York, Alaska, Hawaii, and I believe Washington, had actually taken steps to repeal their laws criminalizing abortion. And about 13 other states had taken efforts to liberalize their laws criminalizing abortions. But in a number of other states, around at least 20 or more, there remained on the books laws that absolutely criminalized abortion, except in situations where it would be necessary to preserve the woman's health or life, or in cases of rape, incest, or fetal anomaly.
Abortion rights attorneys sought plaintiffs who could challenge the Texas law and the Georgia law. There were 2 attorneys from Texas who found Norma McCorvey, who they named, gave the pseudonym of Jane Roe for purposes of protecting her privacy. And she became the nominal plaintiff.
And so Norma McCorvey brought this case. She was a 22-year-old woman living in Dallas County, Texas, who found herself pregnant for the 3rd time. She was unmarried. Her first child had been born, a daughter, and she had ultimately signed over custody of her daughter to her mother to raise because she was having a bit of an itinerant life, wasn't able to take care of her child. The second child that she bore, she gave up for adoption. And so when she found herself pregnant for a 3rd time, she wasn't willing to do either of these things again and wanted to safely and legally terminate her pregnancy. But this was impossible under the Texas law. Texas had, since the 19th century, absolutely criminalized abortion, except in cases where it was necessary for the health and safety of the mother. And so she then was faced with the question of what was she going to do? And the only thing she could think to do then was to actually challenge the law. So she was put in contact with Sarah Weddington and Linda Coffey, 2 young women who had recently graduated from law school. Sarah Weddington was only 26 years old at the time that she helped Norma McCorvey bring this case. But they decided to sue the state of Texas to challenge the constitutionality of Texas's criminal abortion ban.
But as the history shows, there was no trial, there was no evidence, there were no expert witnesses. Jane Roe never testified. As you know, she never got an abortion. She gave birth and placed her child for adoption.
Okay, so Roe was Norma McCorvey. Who was Wade?
Henry Wade was the district attorney for Dallas, Texas, where the case was filed in federal district court.
So this case, I assume, kind of wends its way through the courts. And how did the Supreme Court rule?
The justices declared the Texas and Georgia laws unconstitutional and then rewrote a national law, a national abortion law, in which they said that the states could not regulate or limit abortion in the 1st trimester. They could regulate more in the 2nd trimester, the second 3 months of pregnancy, to protect maternal health. And they could regulate in the last 3 months of pregnancy, the last trimester, to protect maternal health or fetal life. The attorneys for the plaintiffs claimed that abortion fell within the right to privacy, even though privacy is not in the text of the Constitution. They said it was derived or based in the language of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, even though the 14th Amendment doesn't say anything about abortion or the unborn child. It just uses the term liberty. And ultimately, the court said that the right to abortion was part of the right to privacy based in the 14th Amendment.
That's very interesting. So I've learned through many of these interviews that this right to privacy is something that is never actually explicitly stated throughout the Bill of Rights, but there's a penumbra of privacy that you see in a few ways. What was the court's reasoning that it was abortion that could fall under this zone of privacy?
If you read the Roe opinion, on page 152 of the Roe opinion, Justice Blackmun starts out by saying that he cites a string of cases since about 1910, a string of Supreme Court cases, and says that these lead to the right of privacy, and we think abortion, or that the right of privacy is broad enough to encompass abortion. But then 4 pages later, on page 156, Blackmun turns around and says, but abortion, because it involves the taking of a life, is inherently different from all those other cases that make up the right of privacy.
So the right of privacy doesn't actually come from Roe versus Wade. It comes from a case decided about 8 years earlier in 1965 called Griswold versus Connecticut. In Griswold, at issue was a Connecticut state statute that made it a crime to use contraception or even to counsel patients about contraceptions. Planned Parenthood League of Connecticut opened up a birth control clinic in New Haven, Connecticut. They were promptly arrested and the clinic was closed, and then they were able to bring this case. And they argued that the right to be able to use contraception was the right of the individual. The right of the doctor to advise patients about contraception was also an individual right. And the court, in an opinion authored by William O. Douglas, agrees with them. And the court articulates for the first time this right of privacy. And this is a right that the majority in Griswold says has actually been percolating in the court's decisions for some time.
Did any of the justices dissent in the Roe decision? And if so, why?
Well, there were 2 dissents by Justice White and by Justice Rehnquist. And Justice White said that the court was engaging in raw judicial power, and that the justices did not have the right or the authority to strike down the abortion laws of the states, and could not rely upon a doctrine called substantive due process. Justice Rehnquist said that there is clear historical evidence that many states passed abortion limits and prohibitions precisely at the time of the framing of the 14th Amendment in the 1860s leading up to 1868, and that the evidentiary history, this history of state limits and prohibitions on abortion, contradicted any proposition that the 14th Amendment was intended to include a right to abortion. And that was kind of the heart of his dissent.
So Roe was not the last word on abortion in the United States. There have been several later cases that were important to this as well, like Planned Parenthood versus Casey or Whole Women's Health versus Hellerstadt. Can you talk a little bit about how those cases have altered the scope of the right to abortion?
As soon as Roe is decided in 1973, there is an effort to sort of roll it back and hem it in a little bit. Frank Church, who's a senator from Idaho, announces the Church Amendment, which basically says that physicians don't have to perform abortions if doing so would conflict with their conscience or conscience beliefs. So again, that's one opportunity to sort of limit the reach of this right by limiting the number of providers who are available to offer abortions.
In fact, the court has kind of cut back on Roe versus Wade in 4 cases over the years. Harris versus McCrae involving abortion funding, Planned Parenthood versus Casey, and in other cases, they've given more deference to the states, allowed the states to pass more and more limits, at least around the margins, even though they've continued the holding to the basic right that Roe created, that there is a right to abortion for virtually any reason at any time of pregnancy. That's still the scope of the right. But they've allowed marginal regulations like limits on public funding, parental notice and consent, informed consent laws. But then the court flip-flopped in 2016, in June of 2016, in Whole Women's Health versus Hellerstadt.
The case makes its way to the Supreme Court, and in an opinion that's authored by Justice Stephen Breyer, and it's only an 8-person court because Justice Scalia passes away in February of 2016, so just 8 people on the court. In this decision, that's a 5-3 decision, Justice Stephen Breyer notes that the provisions that were challenged do not offer the medical benefits that they claim to offer sufficient to justify the burdens on access that each of those provisions imposes.
What do you see as the future of Roe versus Wade?
Well, the court has failed as the National Abortion Control Board. It cannot monitor abortion. It can't intervene. It can't regulate or legislate itself. It can't act as public health administrators. It can't investigate. And I believe it's absolutely certain that the court sooner or later will have to overturn the Roe versus Wade decision because of this failure and return the issue to the states.
When we are talking about repealing or reforming these laws in the 1960s and 70s, it's also around a social movement where one of the critical questions is what will be the role of women going forth in a modern society? When the questions of contraception come before the court, one of the questions is whether women will be allowed to choose when and how to have children, whether they can space the timing of births to accommodate careers. It's the same issue that comes up in abortion. Like, this is allowing women freedom to be able to go into the workforce, to determine when and how they will become mothers. And so it's not surprising that the same questions that arose in the 19th century about the place of women, about what happens in a society that's undergoing change, whether it's immigration or changes in the demography of the country, are also coming up in the 1960s and 1970s at a time of incredible social change. And I think abortion and these rights involving a woman's role really do come to the fore and are incredibly controversial.
So we've learned that the decision to legalize abortion in Roe versus Wade was based on the right of privacy, which the court has inferred from the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. Since the Roe decision, a number of other cases have set limits on abortion and abortion clinics. Clark Forsyth argues that the Supreme Court has failed in regulating abortion and that the issue should be returned to the states. Melissa Murray, by contrast, suggests that the decision in Roe is crucial to giving women the freedom to join the workforce and make decisions about when to have children. To learn more about this case, visit the National Constitution Center's Interactive Constitution and Khan Academy's resources on U.S. government and politics.